There we go. I think we made it in all the right places. Hey, everybody, happy Tuesday. Sarah here from Your Creative Junction, coming at you live from the workshop with hopefully two. We'll see how long I have stamina to craft for and how many of you are as excited as I am. Hey, Annette. Yes, I'm here. A new platform means new buttons to memorize. So, as usual, a couple minutes behind, but I'm here. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay, where you are watching from, what you're most excited about, all of the things. I have two new crafts for you tonight, two brand new kits, actually, and a little bit of an explanation as to how we're going to do these kits as we move into the fall. If you are joining me, please make sure you say hi in the comments, and please also share out our live broadcast tonight so that your crafting friends can see what it is that we're doing. So I have two brand new kits for you tonight. These are actually what we're going to do for fall. I have a ton of fall product that's going to go up on the wall behind me. But every season, I'm going to release a couple of kits that are only on pre-order. So the only way to get these kits is to actually pre-order them. The link is in the description box, regardless of where you are watching tonight. So if you want to grab yours, you can. Stay tuned to the very end if you'd like a discount code, of course. But I want to show them to you. I'm super excited about both of them. I hope you guys are just as excited as well. Hey, Jessica Wilson, how are you? So the first kit, this is the background of the first kit. This is a set of pumpkins that say grateful, thankful, blessed. And this actually is in a stand. So as we do this one tonight, you'll see it come together. The other is in 100 pieces, but I think you'll be able to get the gist of what it is even before I put together the puzzle. But we are doing this, a second one is a 3D barn quilt, which we did attempt last year, learned from our lessons. So this is what this one looks like. It is a 3D barn quilt, and we are going to try and put both of these together tonight. So I better get cracking and get started. I think I'm going to start with the pumpkins. So as we're going, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to drop the camera. Oh, perfect. Awesome. I'm glad you set a reminder. That's so super smart. I see lots of eyes, but I don't necessarily see people in the comments. So please make sure you are saying hello. As I'm crafting, let me know if you have any questions at all. So if you have never worked with these kits with us before, hey, Sue Vance, how are you? They come with all of the parts that you could possibly need. Oh, I agree with you, Annette. Both of these, I was super excited about both of them. That's why there's two, because I could not decide. So when they come to you, you get all of the 3D wood pieces that you could possibly need. It's a little bit of a puzzle. Hey, Mom. And we make sure that all of your pieces are there and you get a image of what it is that you are putting together, so that when you're doing it at home or you're doing it here in the workshop, you have a point of reference and you don't get all stressed out, because that's not the point of crafting. We're supposed to be having fun. So you'll be able to see all of it come together. And then also, ideally, you would have this video for reference if you were doing this at home. So I'm just going to get started. I would love to hear from you as to sort of what colors. I already have a bit of a palette picked out, but if you have an idea of what color you might paint this, let me know in the comments. I brought paint and I brought no palettes. Honest to goodness. Oh, one of these days I will have all my stuff together for these lives. And I'll actually have them all here with me. If you have never painted any of these wood pieces before, I highly, highly recommend that you are careful with the amount of paint that goes on your brush. Lighter coats is always better because especially when we get to the barn quilt piece, you do not want to get paint on the edges. We just want paint on the face. These are all cut on a laser, and the edges are actually burnt. So they have a lovely finished look to them. And I find that if you can really help not get the paint on your edges, then it looks so much better. It's not always possible. Some of the pieces are really, really fine and thin. So sometimes I do that as well. Hey, Bryn. Bryn would paint it blue, green, and yellow. That's awesome. I love it. There definitely is some teal, so it's kind of blue in the mix for sure. I have some yellow on the table. And I have some green on the table. Look at that. The other thing you can do, and we have sort of moved to with these smaller pieces, is our paint markers, which I think I showed those to you last week. Putting those to use because they are just, sometimes it's easier to color than it is to paint with a brush. So that's always an option as well. I would love to hear from you in the comments if you have crafted this week. What have you made? Or even not just this week, in the last several weeks, what have you crafted that you are so excited about? I agree with you, Sue, 100%. They work really well for the small pieces. In fact, I'm wishing that I had a good white one right now because I would be using it on these pieces. Unfortunately, our paint markers, Camp has loved the paint markers, and we're happy to have them use them, but they are just not in their best, their best shape. I commented today that we needed to order another set for sure. You're crocheting a blanket, Sue. Good for you. That's awesome. I definitely don't have that skill. Although, I don't know if you saw my video this week, I have mastered punch needle, and that is super exciting. It wasn't that I hadn't mastered it before. If you're aware of that story, it was that my materials were not right. Definitely did not have the right materials. No crafting on the East Coast, but lots of inspiration. That's awesome, Annette. I'm glad you guys had a great time. I saw some of the pictures. It looked amazing. Hey, Ashley. It is. It's lots of fun. You would love it, Sue. I can guarantee it. Peach jam, of course. Your granddaughters would like some strawberry jam if you have any in the cold cellar. They are out, and store-bought is just not the same. I don't have to tell you that, but they wanted me to tell you that what I was getting them from the store was not the same. Hilarious, I'm sure. Annette is with you? How awesome is that? Or she's with you on the screen? I don't know. But of course she's here. Annette's an OG from way back. From the first class in the backyard. Kids, right? Right? They're so particular. So particular. So this painting of the small parts is definitely a little bit tedious, but I do really recommend that you be as patient as possible and go as cautiously as possible, just not to get some on the edges. And there's a couple of places where I already have, but it is what it is. With you on the screen, 100% she is. Wonderful. Addison does not like jam. She likes what I make her with just the fruit and the chia seeds, which I know is not jam. But Avery is all over your jam, so she would love it. How are we spending the last few weeks of summer break? Are we excited? Hey, Leah. I am making a new, I'll pull it into the screen so you can see it better. Hopefully you can see better. It'll come together. This is one of the new kits for the fall. I do have a whole release to go ready here in the store that will be up probably next week. We're just moving out some of the summer stock. So if you're interested in any of those summer signs, they're all on deep discount right now. We don't have very many left, but we do have a few. And then all of the fall things will come out next week. These two are pre-order only. So I will probably have to say that several times because you guys pop in and out of these lives, understandably so, because they're so long. But this kit and the sunflower one that I have off to the side, hopefully I get to both, are both on pre-order tonight. They will not be available in store. You must pre-order. Pre-order deadline is September the 9th, and the kits will arrive for you on September the 15th. They include your choice of paint colors, stain, glue, gloves, the whole 9 yards. It's a full kit. So, and obviously comes with all of the pieces that you need to make this happen. Hey, Laura. Yes. Well, I'm going to recommend that you stick around to the end of this live because there will be a coupon code announcement. That will only be live for what day is today? Well, I'll see. We'll see how long it's going to be live for. But you're definitely going to want to grab a coupon code. Who doesn't love saving money right now? So I am going to painstakingly paint all of these letters. And I'm probably going to do 2 coats. I do not have a good white or cream paint marker. If I had one, I would totally be using it right now. But I am going to use the baby white method on the pumpkins themselves. So you'll get a chance to see that in action if you've never done that before. So it's one, it turns any sort of paint into a faux stain. So you can still see the wood grain and you'll still see the etchings of the pumpkin. And then I'm also going to add some additional painting to the top. Yeah, absolutely, Leah. I will have pictures available for all of the kits. So the goal is for the fall release to have everything available online so that you can see actively the pictures, and you can also order online for either local pickup or for delivery. or for shipping. We're going to enter into that realm. So I know most of you are local, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference, or you come and see me on a regular basis. But some of you are not local, so that will make a difference for you, that you can then order your kits, select your paint colors, and your items will ship directly to you. I'm working really hard to get these kits to fit into small mailers, which will impact obviously the shipping costs. I would love to be able to offer free shipping if at all possible, but that's totally going to depend on whether or not I can get them sized into mailers that will be reasonably priced. Shipping is ridiculous in this country. The suspense for a coupon code. Of course. Of course, you know that I was going to make you wait till the end to hear about a coupon code. Now, of course, the live will be available for replay, but the coupon code itself will only be active for a certain period of time. So you will have to act quickly. You'll still be able to order the kits. That's not an issue. They will be available until September the 9th, at which point they will disappear, because then we'll be thinking about Christmas. I've already got people asking me about Christmas. So booking their Christmas parties, their staff parties, their family get-togethers. So there's lots of Christmas thought happening right now. All good things come to those who wait. Absolutely. If you haven't already, please take the opportunity to share this live on whatever platform you are on. If you are watching and you haven't commented, please say hi so we know you're here. We're a pretty welcoming group. We'd love to say hi back. And if you are watching afterwards, you're watching the replay, please hit hashtag replay in the comments so that we know that you were, sorry, so that we know you were here. Oh my gosh. One day I'll get it together. Hey, Carrie Vad. No, I miss you too, friend. We live blocks from each other and never see each other. It's terrible. Horrible. We need to get together and craft, or breakfast, whatever. I'm easy that way. Coffee, breakfast, crafting. Now that we have a full team here, I actually have time to do things. Like today, I went home for a couple hours in the middle of the day and hung out with Addison, who's home by herself because Avery's away at camp. Her last 2 weeks, she's wrapping up 5 weeks of camp. So she's away. She'll be back on Friday night. So I went and hung out with Addison in the middle of the day, which is rare. We haven't had that opportunity since we opened the business. So it's been kind of nice to finish up these letters, and then we'll go on to the rest of our pumpkin. Absolutely, we will. You are swamped, I'm sure, Miss Carrie Vadno. So many different things, projects, irons in the fire. I remember that well. Hey, I am going to shout out retreat on my lives. So October is full, you know that, but there is still space in November. If you would like to take a weekend away and come and craft with us, all of your meals and your accommodations are looked after. It is a fantastic time. You craft as much or as little as you would like. You are in the driver's seat on that. And it's a great opportunity to connect with other people or relax and rest, recharge your batteries. It is a beautiful setting. I know there's some ladies on the live right now who are avid supporters of the retreats and can attest to the fact that it really is a fantastic experience. for anybody who attends. So if you are considering it, I wouldn't sleep on it because November does have limited space, and that will be it for 2024. I haven't announced dates for 2025 yet, but they are in the works, along with some different retreat experiences. So if you're interested, let us know. Oh, Olive is there. Hey, Olive. I doubt she can hear me. Sue, you are absolutely right. I do have a great team. They are as dedicated to crafting and the craft experience as I am, and I am 100% thankful for them and for all that they do, in particular with camp. We have a full house of campers, and they are giving those kids an outstanding creative experience for sure. And I had 2 kids today tell me how great this place is, which warms my heart. I love it. I'm so happy that they're feeling like they're welcomed here and that they have the opportunity to create in whatever way they want to create, because that's so important that they have that opportunity. Leah, I wish I had a positive update on the washroom. Unfortunately, I do not. And moving from this space is not really something that we can look at for another year or so. We are locked into a lease here. So it's not something that we are thinking about at this moment, but we are hoping that we are going to receive a grant to be able to make the washroom fully accessible. But it is a complicated situation, unfortunately. So I don't have anything positive, but other than to say that I am still working on it and I refuse to let it go. I will die on the hill of this one. But it is not just me, it's landlords and it's government grants and all of those fun things. So, and that you are so true. You have done all of it, you have done none of it, and you've had great experiences both times, all the times, not just both. Lots of years you go more than once. So it's fabulous. Ashley, I have a couple of different grants that I'm looking at. We should chat more about that. Put that on the list and we'll chat this week or next about it. Maybe you can help me with the applications. Working with CV and Quinty too. So, and with their assistance as our partner. So, getting their help on that as well. I'm almost done these letters. Almost. Let me know, what color would you do the pumpkins? Absolutely, you can come and do DIY projects and take them home with you. We would love that. Even if you can only come for short visits, we totally understand. We at least like to see your face and say hello. We will make it work however we can. I'm going to do 3 different colors. Anybody want to guess what one of those colors will be? Orange, possibly. Possibly. It's so quiet in here. Different shades of orange. Yeah, that's a possibility. I think Bryn was watching earlier and now she says pink. That's too funny. Of course, the pumpkins could be pink. They can be any color. I do try my best to do the samples in neutral shades. You, of course, when you get your pumpkin, can customize it to whatever you like. When you're placing your order, either through the website or through me directly, you can specify which colors you want. Your kit's going to come with 6 colors plus stain if you want it. So you can specify what colors you want and then make it your own. When we get this together, I'll show you. It stands 16 inches tall. So it's perfect for a table or a mantle, a counter. I also think that it could become part of your outdoor scape. If you have a porch and want to incorporate it into like some hay bales or something along those lines, you totally can. Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. I would love a visit, Leah, after camp is done. It is a madhouse in here during the day right now. So some days it's hard to hear ourselves think. But the laughter and the creative energy is unbelievable. You should see some of these things that these kids create. This week's video is actually will come out with the newsletter, but it's actually a July recap video, and it has pictures from all of our classes and all of our camps. So definitely watch for that. All right, I've got one coat on there for now. I'm going to leave it at that, and then I'm going to move on to the other colors. Yeah, you understand how loud it gets. I love the loudness. Most days I really do. It's amazing. I missed a spot. There we go. So those words are done, and I'm going to get onto my pumpkins. I am going to quickly wash my brush and grab some palettes. I'll be right back. I don't know which colors to do, but I definitely do know that I am going to do the pumpkins using baby wipes. And I do think that at least one of them is going to be teal. So on brand it must be. I might lighten it just a little bit with a little bit of white. I'm kind of looking for a worn look. So we'll see. That might be better. I'm not going to need very much paint. That's the other thing that I really love about using the baby wipes is you use so very little paint. Yeah, I think that's much better. Much, much better. I believe I did see it. I'll have to go back and look, Leah, but I'm pretty sure I did see it at the time. I'll have to go back and look for sure. Should have brought a cup of water is what I should have done. All right. So I am keeping in mind that I want my pumpkins to be separate, but I do have these wooden pieces that are going to go on and sort of separate the two pumpkins. So I want to be cautious around where the pumpkins connect, but I don't have to be 100%. So I'm going to use, yeah. So this kind of, I'm sure you can see, but I will bring this up closer to the camera. It's almost a wash, and you very much are in control of how dark that wash is. I want to be able to see the grain of the wood. That is the reason that I am doing it this way. I'm not as concerned about the veins of the pumpkins because I'm going to add some extra paint there. But I do definitely want to see the grain of my wood. So I'm choosing not to use a paintbrush and paint full force. And I can layer this on to get it as dark as I want it to be. So you can still see the grain, but the camera is not picking up that teal color as much as you see it here in person. And then again, I'm in much more control because I'm just rubbing this on using my fingers, so I can just follow the lines of where the pumpkins meet. And I can darken it up as much as I want. It is a really cool technique. I love that you can basically fake out and do what's called, it's referred to a faux stain. And you can faux stain using any paint that you have. You do not have to do it with baby wipes. I just find it super convenient to do it that way. You can also do it with a wet sponge. But I just find that I have much more control over how much color, what the saturation is when I'm using this technique. Keep in mind that this paint will also wash off of my wood while it's fresh. So I've gotten some on this pumpkin here where I don't really want it. And I can take that off. Using a magic eraser and some water, we'll take that right off. Okay, I'm loving this. I do think I'm gonna do orange. And I think I might do a sagey green. Yeah, 100% spray water in the paint and water it down for sure. Yeah, absolutely, Sue. That's part of the reason why we do this. Want you to keep something, learn something, and apply it in your crafting for sure. All right, it is definitely not showing up as bright on camera. But I will take still photos once we are finished with tonight's project, so you get a better capture of that picture, or sorry, that color, once it's all done and put together. I also like the baby white because then I can just clean my fingers and move on to the next color. Easy peasy. This paint is, this is our Country Chic line of paints. If you're curious, I absolutely, hands down, would recommend this for anything. Even if I didn't sell it, I would recommend it because it is outstanding to work with. It's great for outdoors. It's great for indoors. It's great for furniture. Yeah, 100%. All right, so orange, but a nod to orange because this is actually called Sunset Glow. It is more orange in person than it appears on camera. But that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the bottom one this color. Non-traditional for sure, but that's the glory of creativity. You get to decide what colors you want it to be. It can be playful. It could be Halloween-like. I mean, you could do it however you want to do it, for sure. I am going a little heavier right off the start with this Sunset Glow because I know I want it darker. I don't want it super light. I didn't want my teal really, really bright. So that's why I went in with several coats. But I knew I wanted my orange Sunset Glow, this one's called. If you're curious and want to use this color ever in future, this, using the baby wipes also makes it so that the paint dries super, super fast. Yeah, definitely, Jessica. We sell this paint. We also sell acrylic, the Deco Art line. So that's not the kids craft line. That's the adult craft line, the acrylic line. So we have that for sale here as well. And we do have a kids line for sale as well. So yeah, some really, the colors are outstanding. I really, really am happy with the color choices from Country Chic. I know I've talked to many of you about the difference between Country Chic and Fusion. I've used both. At one point, I was going to carry Fusion and then opted to carry Country Chic solely because of the color palette. The color palette in Fusion, in the Fusion brand, is just a little bit too heritage for my liking and for our customers' requests. So that's why I went with Country Chic. Honestly, having painted with both, I would swear to you that the recipes were almost identical. So if you have ever used Fusion mineral paint, this is basically the same thing under a different name. Canadian made. Yeah, clearly I need to do a better job at letting y'all know what it is that we carry here. Now that we have a team and I can focus on that kind of stuff, I definitely will make sure that you're aware of what it is that we have. But we have the full line of paint in 3 different sizes. You can use this paint to refinish furniture, cupboards. It's outstanding. This color is called Sage Advice. I will hold this closer in just a second, but I'm loving this this little combination that I got going on here. And then I'm going to do my stems and my leaves in more oranges and browns, just to sort of tie it all together. So if you happen to know of anyone else, hey, Anne-Marie, how are you? Long time no chat. If you know somebody else who might like this kit, be sure to share. You either share the photo later or share this live with them. They are, like I said, they are only available for pre-order. You will not be able to find this one on the shelf. These 2 special releases that I'm going to do tonight, hopefully I get them both done. If not, I will post a picture of the second one. But yeah, so the fall content will be up and on the shelves, but these ones are special releases. Okay, so I can't get it all in screen at once, but I'm loving this combination. So this was Sage Advice on the top. This is Whoop-de-Doo in the center. And this is Sunset Glow on the bottom. And you saw how very little paint was actually used in that. And now I'm going to go on to my leaf pieces and my, I've got leaves and acorns here that I'm going to do up next. So I'm going to set this aside, move this over a little bit. Drinking water tonight, friends, not coffee. I would have had coffee. I just was running behind and couldn't get the coffee made. I'm going to move that out of the way. I am going to do I'm going to go brown next. So these are my base pieces. So these two will sit like this, probably this way. And then this will sit down inside of that and it will all get glued. But I want this stained. Oh, incredibly fast drying, Leah. This is already dry. This is already dry. Like even those pumpkins that I just did, already dry. Now, recognizing that I did that with a baby wipe, so it's going to dry a lot faster. But even when we do it with a brush, it dries so fast. This is what we use on our barn quilts or for our barn quilt classes as well. And it dries incredibly fast. So, hey, Vicky. Nice to see you. Are you back home or are you still visiting the new grandbaby? So this is leather bound. So I'm choosing not to use any stain tonight like I have in the store. Y'all have seen it if you've been here. The brown, Padre brown and the slate gray are both on hand here. I'm choosing to do this method so that it's a little bit quicker. Yeah, for sure. Oh, you're home. I hope you had a great visit. From the pictures I saw, she looks beautiful. Happy family. Keep in mind too that like I did with that whoop-de-doo in the center, the turquoise, that you can darken it up. So you get to adjust how dark you want your color to be. So that looks pretty good to me. So tiny and so adorable. I bet she is. So I'm going to set those aside. That's my base. I touched that before it was dry. So I'm just going to do that there. Now, these pieces are interesting in the sense that, so these are our next layer of 3D, and there are leaves that, ooh, this is flipped over. There are leaves that go on. There are acorns that go on, and they will all match a specific size. So we'll get all of that done. There we go. There's that one. And so I don't have to paint the entire back part because it's not going to be entirely seen. So it's kind of like putting together a little wooden puzzle. So I always encourage you to find all of your correct pieces first, so that you know they're going in the right direction, because as you saw just a second ago, I had one of them flipped over. So you want to make sure, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but ideally you're painting the right side the first time. So I just like to take all of my little pieces and get them all lined up so that I know I'm doing the right ones. And then I can see that these green stems, I'm going to paint them green anyway. So these stems I'm going to want to paint, but underneath the leaves and the acorn, I don't need to paint there. So I'll just get this all laid out quickly because I do have 3 of them and I want to make sure that everything's the correct size and the correct location. We have learned from experience that you want to take the time to do this step. In particular, with anything where the pieces actually join up to one another, you're going to want to make sure that you lay it out. I call this dry fitting. So I'm going to lay out all my pieces first, and then I will know which one goes with which, and I will keep them in the correct place. Because if you get all excited and you start gluing, then you could potentially have them in the wrong place. And we don't want that to happen. Although usually it's recoverable, but it is not. You can't get, if you've got a wooden piece stuck on with glue, you are not getting it off. I'm with you, Ashley. I love, like, it's a little fiddly, this part, but I'm going to tell you that I absolutely stinking love this. I loved this piece as soon as I saw it, and had to have it. Okay, so there's all of my pieces put together in the right spots. I'm going to do all of my acorns in the brown. I'm probably going to do a messy combination on the leaves in both orange and possibly some red. We'll see. Maybe some yellow. Actually, I've got some mustard, some burnt, or some of the mustard color here, so I might do some of it. But we'll see. Nothing is as fiddly as mosaic tiles. Now, come on. I'm sorry. You didn't do fused glass with us. That's definitely fiddly. But yes, I will give you that. Mosaic tiles are fiddly. The kids have been doing mosaics this summer and are absolutely loving it. And they're doing an amazing job with little glass tiles. It's outstanding for them. All right, my little acorns are happy. I think I'm going to do this one just a little bit darker. 100%. Most of the things are a little bit easier the second time around. Pre-cut glass. Yes, yes. Leah did fuse glass with us. I remember. That was your first class here, wasn't it? All right. Acorns are done. And that might, it's the end of my brown baby white, but I am going to use this brown in a second on my pumpkins to add some different detail. Yeah, certainly the fused glass is not for the faint of heart. All right, I'm going to go with, so this is called persimmon. And it's not in a squeeze bottle because I only have this little jar open right now. I need to get a big one open. So I am going to just work right out of the lid rather than pour it out. So I'm going to take a little bit of this persimmon, which is very bright, but I am going to tone it down a little bit with some of the other orange and maybe a little bit of brown. We'll see. We're going to let this dry. I will show you. So again, on camera, not, at least from what I can see on my end, maybe you guys see a different color. I'm sure that is true, but it's not showing true to color on my screen. So I'll say that over and over again. They are pretty. These little, the detail that you can get with these laser cut pieces is just unreal. Which reminds me, it is not too early to start thinking Christmas. So while I'm working away at this, let me know in the comments, what are some things that you would love to see for Christmas? We've been dabbling with the ideas and what we should and shouldn't do, wondering if people will want a personalization option. Are we wanting lots of ornaments, signs? What are you thinking for Christmas? What have you seen that you're hoping to see at Christmas? Hey, Rhonda. So this is the mustard, fresh mustard, one of my favorites all year round, but definitely at fall. It is the perfect yellow for fall. So I'm going to use a little bit of that. I squeezed out way too much, but I'm going to use it. And I'm actually going to repeat this baby white because it has that yellow, or sorry, that orange on it already. And I'm actually hoping to sort of mix in these colors. I'm taking most of it off, and I'm not going to cover the entire thing. I am just dabbing so that my leaves look like, well, if you've chalked with me before, this is like similar to Hot Mess. Only I'm not using a silkscreen transfer. I'm using these wooden pieces, and I'm trying to get a variation of color. I'm also going to use this yellow as my base on these other leaves, this different shaped leaf, so that there's a connection between the colors. I don't think I'm going to throw red in here just because it's a pretty strong color, but I am going to go back to, might mix, I'm going to mix a little bit of brown and a little bit of Sunset Glow, which is that other pink color, but I'm going to grab some of the brown and mix them together on my baby white, because again, what I'm looking for is some, I don't want perfect looking leaves. I want them to look like fall leaves. So I'm just dabbing, and on my baby wipe is a mixture of those colors. Thanks, Sue. Yeah, I like that. I'm happy with that. Snowman things, winter truck. Oh, yes. You loved the penguin ornament last year. It did sell out. Yes, for sure. I strongly believe that all of the ornaments are going to be we've already chosen some. They're adorable. And so you're going to want to not sleep on them, meaning you're going to want to act quickly. It's a busy, busy time of the year, so we don't always have time to do a second cut. So that will be my advice to you, is to get on it as quickly as you can. For green, I think I'm going to go, I have 3 different greens on the table, but I think maybe too light. An interchangeable truck is on the list. I'm not sure that it's made the shortcut of the list, but it is definitely on the list, as well as an interchangeable round. So meaning that you would be able to swap out the center, whatever, depending on the season. So I am mixing together Fireworks and Wondrous here because I didn't love the brightness of Fireworks. I wanted it toned down a little bit. And Wondrous is more of a light green, almost a little bit sagey. So that's why I mixed those two together. Yeah, subscribing to the newsletter absolutely helps to know when stuff is coming out. And I will say, we've discovered this week, purely by accident, almost embarrassed to say this out loud, but if you are not subscribed to the newsletter, our communication with you is actually very, very limited due to Canada's anti-spam laws. So I can appreciate why people don't want to necessarily be subscribed because they're not wanting to get spammed. I can assure you, I don't have time to spam anybody. But if you opt to not subscribe, what that's meaning, what we've discovered is that it means that I can't send you an email that says, hey, you partook in this class and the instructor wanted you to know that the product that was used was X, Y, and Z. I can't send that to you because you have chosen to be unsubscribed to communication. So our system again, because it is governing the anti-spam situation, will not allow us to send that to you. So please keep that in mind. Certainly, I want for you to read my emails and be fully aware of what it is that's going on here. But I only, like, if I send one a week, I've consider myself on a roll. Most often it's once every other week. Sometimes it's once a month. I'm not spamming you with anything, but you could very well miss out on very valuable information if you are not subscribed. So subscribing is not hard. You just have to go to the website and opt in. When you are registering for a class, it's going to give you the option to opt in to communication, to subscribe to communication. You're going to want to hit yes, because if you hit no, then I can't communicate with you. And that's upsetting to me. But unfortunately, it is the law here in Canada. So I have to follow the rules. You're going to see more about that in our social medias over the next little while, probably on a regular basis, so that people understand the importance of opting in for those things. All right, I think we got all the pieces done. I think we're done. The only thing I wanted to do is, the last thing I want to do is, actually, I think I'm going to glue these pieces while they're right here in front of me before I go on to the last piece of this pumpkin that I want to do. So I'm just going to clean my hands because I don't want to get paint somewhere that I don't want it. So I'm going to get that off of there. Oh my goodness, it's getting darker earlier. It's going to 8 and you can tell it's getting dark out there, or starting anyway. All right, those are clean. When you grab yourself one of these kits, they always come with glue. Keep in mind that this is super glue, so don't get this on your skin. Your kit will also always come with gloves. So I really do recommend that you wear them, although I'm not wearing mine. I should be, because I can tell that this one is tight. When you buy a kit, the two pieces are separate, the bottom from the top. And that's because when you screw the bottom onto when you screw the top onto the bottom, it then breaks the seal. And you don't want to do that ahead of time because the glue will dry out. So just keep that in mind. And then when you take this red tip off, this is where you could get some squeeze. So just keep your fingers away from the red cap. The other thing I'd like to tell people is that you don't need a whole lot of this. Leah, thank you. This is very watery, and it does not need to be completely covered. A couple of little dots. I'm dotting this more because I was trying to get it to come out. But a couple of little dots is all you need. Line up your pieces like they're a puzzle. So on the outside, and press and hold for about 15 seconds and it's done. It's not going to move on you. That's the beauty of using this paint, is that it will not, it won't impede your glue. So you're going to want to use this paint. You can put the glue wherever you like, but it does not have to be saturated in glue in order for it to stay put. Even if it's going outside, you do not have to put a whole ton of glue on this. Press and hold, and then move on to the next piece. Line up the outsides, and then that's it. That one's done. So, and then it's easier for me to get this onto my pumpkin as one full piece rather than trying to manipulate all of the little parts. So that's what we will do. I also like to use just a little few dots just so that I don't get any squeeze out. This glue has a shiny finish. So if you get it where you don't want it, A, it can't be wiped off. And B, you are going to have that shiny finish. So you'll be able to see it, is really just my point there. So just keep that in mind. If you end up getting this little kit, these little leaves actually are like a puzzle. The acorn and the leaf, the two leaves actually sort of meld together in the middle. Oh, that's so good to hear, Leah. Yeah, it is. It's really great glue. It's just super glue. It's nothing fancy, but it really is the best product for the job. I have lots of conversation with crafters around hot glue and using hot glue in their crafting. Hot glue certainly has a time and a place. These wood signs is definitely not where you want to use hot glue. It will create a raise in between your pieces, which you do not want. So I always say super glue, or Greg refers to it as CA glue. So either of those. Gorilla Glue is the same, like the blue lid Gorilla Glue. That is also an option. It is exactly the same as super glue. So oftentimes you'll see that used here in the store. These little containers are what we send with the kits so that you have enough glue to be creating. So those three are put together. So that's all done. And then I'm going to just do some additional painting on my pumpkins. So I'm going to bring them back in for a second. Move my trays out of the way and my base. Put the base together in a second. And I'm going to pull my pumpkins in. The one thing I really would like to do is almost, I'm going to go back to my brush now. And I'm going to accentuate the, I call this veining. I don't, that's probably not the right term. Like these lines on this pumpkin, I'm going to put down a couple of lines like that with paint. Somehow you lost the sound. Well, you probably pushed a button somewhere. Did anybody else? Can everybody else hear me? So I'm going to go in. So I've painted that on. You can see that on camera. I'm painting it on with my brush. And this is almost dry brushing because I don't have very much paint on there at all. And then I'm going to go in with my baby wipe and just brush that off. So I want it to look almost dirty, if that makes sense. They're called ribs. Okay. Did you just Google search that? Because I had no idea. I would not have known that they were ribs. So certainly you do not have to do this. It is completely optional. Oh, great idea, Leah. Exit the video and start again, maybe. That'll work. So the other thing I am going to do is a little bit along the edges, or sorry, not the edge, the outside of my pumpkin. I'm trying to make it look dirty, if that makes sense. Personal preference. There are lots of people who would do this on every single project they make. You sure did. How do I know you? I appreciate you. So take that pumpkin so you can see that a little bit better close up, and just adding a little bit of character, a little bit of dry brushing, whatever you want to do. Again, personal preference. You do not have to do this, but I think that it's just going to add a little bit to my finished project. not exact by any means. I'm just brushing in the general direction. I really like it. If I had wax, I could also do this with wax, an antique wax or a brown wax, whatever color you had that was sort of looking a little bit dirty. You could do that as well. And then I'm just going to use, instead of a baby wipe, I could also be using some sandpaper that could potentially take some of that off as well. So now my pumpkin is looking very dirty and wet, but it will dry. So don't panic about that. You certainly can. Everything is always fixable too, right? So keep that in mind. Oh, good. I'm glad that worked. You guys are always so helpful for one another. That's what I love about this community. Oh, I forgot my stem. The stem of my pumpkin definitely, oh, that's too much paint. The stem of my pumpkin did not get painted. So we'll get that done. And then we'll put it all together. It's almost done. I'm just going to put some paint on here and then I'm going to rub it off with my wipe. That's better. Perfect. Perfect. It's coming together. Awesome. All right. Let's glue this all together. So I think that, I mean, there are 3 different of these. I think I want them like this, but I always put it together without the glue first. And then I can make some changes if need be. I think maybe this is going to go this way. Yeah. So in this instance, I'm going to put my glue on the back of this piece so that I don't have to guess where it's going to go. And I do have, contrary to what I sometimes say in class, you do have a few minutes. So if you put it down by accident in the wrong place, I do have a few seconds to move it. But once I've pressed it down, then there's no moving it. So, and I always just like, on a piece like this, it's got lots of little bits. I always just make sure that they all have got a dab of glue and they all get some pressure so that they stay where I want them to stay. I certainly have not put, I don't know whether you can, yeah, it did. So you can see, like, I'm just putting dabs of glue. It certainly does not take that much. The reason I'm fiddling with this is because these green leaves are actually covering the connection between the 2 pumpkins. So I want that to be covered so that if there by chance there was any like this color into this color, you're not going to see it because of those leaves that are now attached. The other thing to keep in mind is, or one of the things that I am keeping in mind as I add these on, is being mindful of the lettering, because I can see, hey, Heather, I can see where the scoring is for the lettering. So I don't want my leaf to get in the way of my letters because they're going to go down next. So great to see you, Heather. I hope you're doing well. So you may decide that you want to put a second coat on your letters. I will show you as best I can on camera, but I will definitely take a still picture close up so you can see better. I don't want my letters to be stark raving white. I want them, like the whole piece is distressed looking. So I want to make sure that my letters are also distressed looking. So I'm opting to not do a second coat, but that totally is up to you. Woohoo! Holidays next week. That's exciting. Countdown to the end of camp, friend. I'm sure you're feeling it. I said to somebody today, I love camp. I absolutely do. Those kids energize me. They jazz me up. I love it. I love giving kids a space to be creative, to be truly creative. And many of you have heard my soapbox rant on that. But I am also just as happy to see the end of camp come. 7 weeks, and I know it's not as long as many of you do, but it's long enough for me. Happy to have them. Absolutely love them. They're a delight, but it is also exhausting. All right. Having the scoring on the pumpkins is also incredibly helpful for getting these words lined up straight. I don't have to think about it. The laser did the work. So all I have to do is get the glue in the right spot, and that might be the wrong L. That looks better. And get it glued down, and then it is absolutely going to be straight, and I don't have to worry about it. Lined up. I am not used to crafting sitting down the whole time, so I'm getting a little antsy and feel like I need to stand up. Upside down. Get it lined up. If you are following along and watching to the end, I'm so grateful for you. Make sure that you comment and say hello. If you are wondering what it is that we're doing, these are our two special fall releases, I'll say, because we do have a full fall release that is coming out next week. These are just two that are special orders. These will not be available on the shelf. They will be pre-order only. And at the end of tonight's live, I will give you a coupon code to use for a short period of time to save on one or both of these kits or multiples, your choice. And again, they're complete kits. So everything that you could possibly need will come in these kits. Your choice of paint colors and stain colors, combination of the both, whatever you want to do. The only thing I don't include is baby wipes because I haven't found them in like small enough packs. Certainly nobody needs to get a pack of 100 baby wipes from me. So keep that in mind. If you like the technique that I did tonight, you're going to want to have some baby wipes on hand. The kit pre-order will end on September the 9th, and the kits will be available to be shipped or to be picked up on September the 15th. So also keep those dates in mind. There might be an early order, like depending on how many we get. If we get an influx, you know, over the next few days, I might go ahead and just get them ordered. Don't do what I do and drop that like that. I'm going to show you, I don't know whether it'll pick up on camera, but earlier I was talking about that gloss that you get. I'm going to try and get it off with a baby wipe. But you have to be very careful because it's sticky. Yeah, sticking to the baby wipe. Love it. This one is so, yeah, so good. I'm going to raise the camera now just because I'm going to put this together. You're not going to be able to see my full head, but you'll be able to see this. That lighting is even better. Love it, love it, love it. It looks so good. All right, I'm going to put the base together so that part is done. And one thing that I am going to do, I'm going to show you. I'm obsessed with it too, Sue. Like, I'm so glad you're just as obsessed as I am. There are some files that I see and I'm just like, I have to have that. I absolutely have to. I do not design these. I purchase the files commercially. Someone else designs them. That's their strength. This is not my strength. So I purchase the files for commercial use. And then we have a partner who does all of our cutting, or she purchases the files. Doesn't matter either way. The files are purchased, and then we go to town. And there are some that I'm just like, yep, obsessed. Need to have that. All right, I'm going to make sure that my two pieces of my stand are put together. So that's part A and part B. I've just glued those together. And I'm just going to make sure that's really well glued. Now, you would have the option to glue your bottom into the base. The only downside to that, I'll get that away from my face. The only downside to that is that when you go to store your decor from your fall decor, obviously is not going to stay out year round. So when you go to store that, if this has been glued, I now have to lay it in a box somewhere like this with that base. Whereas if I don't glue it, I can then lay this much flatter from a storage perspective. So that's my only tip. Either way, it is going to stand for you independently. Let me see if I can get a better angle on that. And then I'll just stand behind it so you're not distracted by what's on the board. Man, oh man, that looks great. Love it. Like, it's just, yeah, love, 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 love this one. Absolutely. So what I mean is that I can add some glue to that groove and it would then be permanent in that stand, or I can leave it like this and it's going to stand independently and I don't have to worry about storage. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you love them all, that you all love it as well as I do. So, so cool. All right. So this is your first kit. This one is called the Stacked Pumpkins. This is 16 inches high, and it is available as a pre-order kit right now. The link is in the description. I will take still photos and will post about that again. Now, I'm not going to do this one because we're already after 8 o'clock, but I am going to show you this one, and then we will do it another day. So the key to this is getting all of these guys. I might have had it right the first time. I did. So what we learned, we've done one of these barn quilts before. You want to see it. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. Yeah, totally night and day after it was painted. I totally agree. So this is a sunflower. And you're welcome. Thanks for the reminder. I forgot to look at the screen. So all of these pieces are now numbered, because when we did this last year, we learned our lesson that if you don't number the pieces, then it becomes very difficult to put together. So what we have done is we have scored the numbers on both the base and on the piece itself, so you know where it goes, and the numbers are face down, so that you're not going to see them when you actually put this together. So I think what I will do, this is also available right now. So if you're like, yep, 100%, I know I need this, you're welcome to go ahead and get it ordered. But I think what I'll do is I'll try and go live again at some point this week. It'll be a surprise. I'll try and give advance notice just so you can see this one painted and put together, because it really does make a huge difference to what they look like when they are actually done. So this one is going to give me some trouble, of course. Oh, it's got a piece that's in the way. I'll have to get that out with a knife. So anyway, you can see the process here as I'm putting all of these pieces together, that this is how this is all going to go together, making your life so much easier. If you experienced the barn quilt one that we did last year, it was much more difficult. In fact, it was rather unsuccessful, and we have figured it out. Do I know the cost? Absolutely. The cost is $45 for the stacked pumpkins. And again, it is 16 inches, and that is for the complete kit, $45 plus tax. And the sunflower comes in two sizes. This is the 10-inch, and will also come in the 16-inch, and it is 45 and 65. So 45 for the 10-inch and 65 for the 16-inch. And that is complete with all of the supplies that you need. Paint, stain, glue, all of the pieces. Done. So I'll work on this one, and I won't work on this one. I will just put it away, but you can see how this is going together. So then each of these pieces can be painted or stained in a variation of different colors as you're putting it all together, as can the outside. So this could very much look like a stained glass piece if you did this frame in black, and then all of these pieces in different colors. There's a whole ton of options with this one for sure. So I will do this one live for you at some point this week as well. So watch for that to happen. And that way you can see it done, because I know you like to see them done, and I don't want to make you wait. So we will do that. So that is it for tonight, except for your coupon code. I know y'all are waiting on the end for this coupon code. So I will actually type it into the chat at the end so that you can see how it's properly spelled, because all of the coupon codes are very, very specific. But if you order your kit or kits in the next 48 hours-ish, then you are going to get to take 20% off of your kit purchase. So all you have to do is order your kits online at yourcreativejunction.com and enter the code YJC Fall. So Your Creative Junction Fall, YJC Fall. And I'll type that into the comments at the end so that you can take advantage of that. The links for the items, so for the stacked pumpkins and for the sunflower are in the description of whatever platform you are watching me on, because I'm streaming on 3 different platforms right now. So wherever you find that description information is where you will find the links, and still photos along with the links will also be posted at a later date, either tonight or tomorrow. So you can look for those as well. Once again, I'm really appreciative of you spending some time with me tonight creating here in the studio. It's always lots of fun. Feels great to get back to regular lives. So I hope that you are enjoying them. Please show me the love in the comments or with thumbs ups or hearts or shares, so that I know you want me to keep doing this and that you love it when we go live. So thanks for spending some time with me. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will get back to them later on. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great night, and we will see you again soon. Bye.